Diana Castro, and you're watching Leaders with a Mission. And today I have a friend and someone who I've had the pleasure to work with. Her name is Cris Sweeny, and she is the co-founder of Frameworks. She is a master at full art and framing fabrication. She is a creative force that believes that there are no limits to what you can create. And this is the energy she brings to all things. Cris is also a LGBT activist and community leader. Thank you so much, Cris, for being here and for accepting this invitation to Leaders with a Mission.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Thank you. I remember when we were actually working on the branding of the video, like in the actual part of brand discovery, you were super passionate about making sure that people understood that there's no limits to what you guys can do. That's an energy, motivation force that you guys use to get yourself better and to move forward. Can you share a little bit about what you guys do?
So we are limitless in our possibilities, not only in what we can create in the world of art and framing, but in who we are about art and framing. And I think the latter part is almost more important to me. We don't see limits where other people do. Time and time again, clients come to us with challenges that other people aren't willing to do, or even willing to consider doing. And we kind of take what they ask of us and look at it from a different perspective or a different angle and look at different materials. We look at different industries to steal ideas and concepts and materials and ideas and fabricate what we think are really unique and distinct and creative, innovative works of art and framing that can be used across many different areas.
So what I love about you guys is that you and Claire are super clear on your vision of taking this industry and positioning your brand as leaders in the industry. This industry is men-dominated, but you guys have owned that and said, hells no.
Exactly.
We can totally do this, and you've actually gone about to do that. How does it feel to be a woman-owned business in a male-dominated world? How are you guys handling that journey of leadership?
Well, I think in the beginning, I wasn't really aware how male-dominated it was. So I didn't feel out of place because it was a very organic journey and learning the industry. As I've grown and can sort of look in the rearview mirror, I'm kind of surprised at how dominated it is still, especially at the caliber and level in which we participate. I consider it a privilege and an honor to be a leader in it. I look for opportunities to sort of shock the industry. We had 3 of the top executives from a national vendor that we use, and they travel all over the country visiting shops. 3 men, of course, and they've been in the business for, over 100 years, their company. And they had to scoop their jaws off the floor when they walked into our facility. And they sent me an email after they visited and said, just acknowledging not only extraordinary how the company was, but what an amazing team we had. And they could tell that we were like no other frame shop they had ever been in. I don't know how many they've been in, but they've been in a lot. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's, says a lot about being women in a man's world, that we're not only acknowledged that we're women, but really for being a leader in our field.
Something that when we were working together, again, this is how we met. Well, actually, that's not how we met. We met through another work.
Yes.
But the thing that I picked up the most is that you guys see leadership through a very spiritual eye. So can you share with me what is your definition of leadership and how spirituality influences how you guys lead your team?
Again, looking back, I view my role as a leader is to produce great leaders. Like, it's no longer to just lead my company. It is to have the people that work in our company and are on our team, whether they stay with our team or go to someplace else or change businesses, but that they are a different type of person and will bring a distinct type of leadership to wherever their journey takes them. that they have been so touched and moved and trained in working around us and being around us that that's how you change the world. So my job as a leader is to produce leaders.
I love it. And talking about that,
not frames.
not frames, that's true. But talking about that, you guys just did we just talked about this, before we started filming, how you guys are implementing these activities to bring people closer. And by doing that, you are creating a space, kind of like a culture around your team that is more in touch with fun and in touch with relationship. Please, for the love of God, tell me how you're doing that.
Well, so a couple things. I think that we're so, in many ways, disconnected in the world today with our devices, and you can participate in life but be very distant through social media, through
tell me about it,
Match.com, so we're not as connected as human beings any longer. And I think that underneath, that's what we crave. So that working together is an opportunity to do that, to be together, even if some of us are at computers and some of us are at machines, or it's loud or noisy, it's a chance to be connected. And, I always had a dream and a vision of having a business, not because I cared about what I made, but because of who I could be in the workplace, that I could have my place be different than other people's, and that people would want to be at work. Like, who do I need to be as a leader that my team loves coming to work? That's a challenge. Every day. I've done this for 25 years. How do I need to be and continue to be to call that forth in other people? And for me, that's very spiritual, in the sense that they're called to be and participate in their work in a different way. So we create activities. Today we played dodgeball at lunch. So sometimes it's
and
just...
And you won?
No, my team won.
Oh, that's right. The team won.
The team won. So we look for moments during the summer when it's hot and sweaty in Miami. I brought the Cold Stone ice cream truck and drove it into our warehouse, and everybody had ice cream sundaes. There's moments of connection where we can laugh and take a pressure off for a moment and be together.
Makes people feel appreciated.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's at the core of your core values, like at the core of the community that you're creating within your team. Like, there's communion, there's connection.
Yes. And Claire and I are very clear that community and that connection is the foundation which we are allowed to continue to build and expand our business. So, that's where, when people don't think that's important, really miss the boat. Like, without that, you can't build. Without a strong foundation, without a next generation, without great people who love what they're doing,
there's nothing.
There's nothing.
Can you share with us some of the struggles you've dealt with in this journey of leadership with your team, whether that is as an entrepreneur or as a partner? Because Claire is your business partner, but it's also your partner in life.
Correct.
What have you guys stumbled upon, and what have you learned from that?
Well, in terms of Claire being my partner, it's a constant struggle to not talk about work, because it is like a child. We've taken it from, being the two of us to, what we have today in a team of, 25. So that's a struggle personally. We've certainly found ways around that and try and be innovative and creative, and we have off limits where we can't
talk about work today.
And our kids, who are now teenagers, say, okay, we don't want to hear about work, can we talk about something else? So that's certainly been a struggle that continues to be a challenge.
To
disconnect, yeah, and to not assume that we know everything that we're doing. Certainly personally, I find I have to continue to push myself in a leadership position. It's really easy to pull the covers up and not want to play today, and you don't have that privilege as a leader. You don't have that privilege, and if you want to pull the covers over your head. Don't be a leader. You just don't get to do it. So that's a constant struggle, an internal battle to figure out how to lead by example, that every word that I choose and say and use has meaning. And I look for moments constantly with my team to, not that somebody look for the person to blame or that somebody screwed up or made a mistake, but that those are all moments of coaching. It's a moment to train someone to be a better leader or put a different system in place or something. So I really, and that's a challenge at times. It's much easier to just scream at somebody. So I'm constantly internally challenged.
Working on yourself.
Yes.
So that's a struggle, and that happens to us because, as you know,
yes.
I work with my husband,
Yes.
and disconnecting from the business is so hard.
Absolutely. And especially when you're passionate about it and you love what you do.
Yes.
Because you want to talk about it.
I know. I get it. I get it. So for you, what do you think is the most important ingredient for success?
Oh, gosh, I would say I find the most important ingredient to this day is my relentless commitment and pursuit of excellence and doing the best that I can, whether it's putting together a frame or picking a piece of artwork or coaching somebody or writing a check or calling a vendor because I'm going to be late on a payment. It's a relentless commitment. It's really easy to think it doesn't matter, but all those little moments and all the pieces matter.
I'm trying to build a list of what people that are in leadership are doing, because I truly believe that success leaves breadcrumbs behind. Is there any book? Is there a leader? Is there anyone that you follow that inspires you to become a better leader?
I do a lot of reading. There's not one particular. I do lots of TED Talks and do a lot of videos. So I'm constantly challenging myself. I follow a lot of business stories and leads. But one person that I really admire is Oprah Winfrey. That I think that the path that she has created and the journey she has been on for her whole life is extraordinary, given her circumstances and the obstacles that she has gone through. And I'm just always left with how generous she is as a human being and to making the world a better place. That inspires me. That motivates me, that what I do in my day matters. To coach my team, that the wire's straight matters. In most worlds, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But in mine, it does.
Yeah, because there's no room for mediocrity when you are a leader.
Correct.
And that's the beauty of it, that you always... And I love the fact that while you're talking, you refer it as excellence, as intentional. And that's truly what leaders do at the end of the day. So let me close with this question. How would you define your mission? How would you like to make an impact in the world? Whether it is through framing, through art, or through the movements that you stand for, what would you say that's something that you would like to leave a trace in the world for?
Well, I think that they're not exclusive of each other, that in terms of living as a lesbian in the world and having done that for many, many, many years, that I've always led by example. And I feel like my actions always speak louder than my words. And integrity is, having it matter when nobody's watching. It's really easy to have it matter when someone's watching you, but when you're...
in closed doors.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, again, a very internal barometer. And I think I feel like, I'm the pebble in the water, that my ripples go wide and far, and I may not know it when I throw the pebble in.
But down the road, you will see the impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having this amazing conversation with me. I enjoy it because you're so full of energy and it just translates and we connect. So thank you so much for being here. If you felt inspired by Cris' story, I invite you to visit them at frameworksmiami.com. And if you're a leader or maybe someone who's looking to position their brand as a leader in their industry, I invite you to visit us at forproductions.com, where we will send you information if you subscribe about how to magnify your impact in the world by using video. Thank you.